Welcome back to the More Sports Police podcast. I am your co-host, Herbert. Say hi to daughter one.
Hi, it's Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, it's just us two again. Gavin just recently got a second COVID shot, so he's kind of running a fever right now. But he should be good to go tomorrow for the draft, which is good. That's an important one. If you see me look up constantly, it's because I moved my setup around. I have a monitor up there now and a monitor to my left, so I'm constantly trying to check the frames of OBS that is above us that is recording. But nonetheless, this is a mock draft episode and kind of touch up draft stuff. And we'll obviously have the draft tomorrow because today is Wednesday, April 28th, 2021. Fun fact of the day. How long ago was 2017? 4 years?
That's 4 years ago, yeah.
4 years ago today, Juju Smith-Schuster was a Pittsburgh Steeler. And that is who I'm repping.
10 years ago tomorrow, Andy Dalton became a Cincinnati Bengal.
Garbage.
So, that was fun.
So we got a mock draft, but we'll kind of talk about draft topics a lot today. We'll kind of start off with a big thing that just happened. Teddy Bridgewater just got traded to the Broncos for a 6th-round pick. I believe that's the trade details. Let me go back to it. I'm on my phone looking.
I think so.
Yes, Teddy Bridgewater was traded to the Broncos in a 6th-round pick, and it's just bringing competition for Drew Lock. Funny thing is, this is the second time in Bridgewater's career he's been traded because of Sam Darnold. 2018, the Jets traded Bridgewater in training camp after using the number 3rd overall pick in Darnold, and now the Panthers trade Bridgewater after acquiring Darnold from the Jets.
Yep.
So, Broncos are really sitting tight with extending Justin Simmons. They signed Kendall Fuller. They signed Ronald Darby, re-signed Shelby Harris, and re-signed Kareem Jackson, and now traded for Teddy Bridgewater, and they still have the 9th pick. In this mock draft, I don't think they use it. I think they trade it. But still, Denver's sitting in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of interesting, I think, especially since the new GM getting involved with the organization, but John Elway is still involved. So it kind of made you wonder, are they going to take a quarterback with the 1st-round pick, and are they already done with Drew Lock? Because it kind of makes you wonder if they'll give him one more year, because it's usually a 3-year rule. I think that most of us tend to go by, and this is going to be his 3rd year, I think.
Yeah.
So I think bringing in a veteran for a low cost thing like that, I think that was the best move. And then continue to use your draft capital on filling out the rest of the roster. I just don't know what they'll do next year, though, because I know next year's draft doesn't look as promising with quarterbacks, but could be proven wrong. We'll see.
Yeah, next year's draft kind of takes a dip in quarterbacks. But speaking of quarterbacks, let's move on to the mock draft. We'll kind of skip to we'll kind of just talk. We won't even talk about the first 2 picks. Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson obviously going 1-2. There's no question about it. Then we kind of get into, we'll have a little discussion here with the 49ers, but I think we both have them taking the same route. I think the Mac Jones is, they're deciding between Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and Trey Lance. I think you have them taking Justin Fields, and I have them taking Trey Lance. There's no issue with Fields. It's just teams don't have him ranked up as high as people watching football do. I don't think Fields goes number 3.
I don't know. I've kind of been on it. It could be my own personal bias just off the eye test. I don't know. But I just don't see the reasoning behind it, and I really buy into the idea that it's a smokescreen. If they end up taking Trey Lance or Mac Jones tomorrow, then I will admit I was proven wrong. But I can't, under good conscience, legitimately convince myself that they would be selecting Mac Jones above him. I could kind of see Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance has a lot of upside that intrigues a lot of people. And I think, especially since Shanahan, I think this is going to have to be the pick that he has to nail. His job is going to be on the line, I think, with this next quarterback. So yeah. I don't know if you'd want to replace Jimmy Garoppolo with Mac Jones.
No, definitely not. But I think this has a lot of comparisons to the Daniel Jones pick with the Giants. Everybody thought it was a smokescreen, and then they did it.
True.
They came out and they're like, hey, we like Daniel Jones, and then they picked Daniel Jones. So Um,
Yeah.
so we both have two different quarterbacks going to the 49ers, but I think they still go quarterback nonetheless. The
Hmm.
Falcons at 4, I think they stay put because they kind of come out. PFF had come out with something about the Falcons staying put and taking Kyle Pitts. That's who I have them taking.
Yeah. I personally believe they will and should take Kyle Pitts with this pick. I think they stay put here, but I know that there was some stuff with rumors going around that Kyle Pitts said that he doesn't think that they're going to pick him as of this time tomorrow. I think that news came out, that tweet came
Yesterday.
out yesterday. So I guess I should put a notice that this draft, this mock I'm doing is kind of sort of the out there, just kind of screw it. We're just going to have a good time with this mock that we did last year with the end of the mock draft. So I'm kind of doing that this time and saying that it is a major smokescreen, and they end up taking Matt Ryan's successor and Trey Lance, have him under Matt Ryan for a year or two, and then kind of do a like they did with Alex Smith over in Kansas City or some of the other situations like that. I don't know. It would just be I think it'll be interesting, as we like to say on this show.
It'll be
But
interesting.
yeah, I'm saying, you know what? Maybe they're fooling everyone, and they take that upside quarterback.
I could see it. They definitely could very well go quarterback. Kyle Pitts even came out and said quarterback. He thinks quarterbacks will go 1 through 4. I don't see it happening. I think Titans would be or Titans. The Falcons. Spoiler. I'm mentioning the Titans and the Falcons for my later mock draft later down the road. But I personally think the Falcons would be stupid to not take Kyle Pitts. He's really good, but I have heard he has started to slide a bit down people's mocks, but I don't
Hmm.
understand it.
Yeah, and like I said, this is a my legitimate real prediction is they take Kyle Pitts, but just for some fun here, um, you know, go with Trey Lance.
With the Bengals, I have them taking Jamar Chase. I don't see them taking Penny Sewell or Penny Sewell because I don't think the Bengals are that smart.
Um, I have been super back and forth on this pick. I think a lot of Bengals fans are divided on it, and I think a lot of us are really, really curious on how this is going to go tomorrow. The more that I've been listening to it, I'm thinking again it could be the smokescreen thing, but it's starting to look more and more like Chase is the pick. I kind of would prefer Sewell, just base making a draft pick, but for this mock, I've got them taking Jamar Chase, and honestly, I'm starting to think like 51-49 or 60-40 chance they take Jamar over Sewell tomorrow. I have no idea though.
With the
It's gonna be.
Dolphins pick from Philly, I have them taking Penny Sewell because Dolphins, not the some, I think it was PFF again, said the Dolphins will pick Penny Sewell if he's available, which is great because that helps the O line for Tua. And I mean, they have a decent receiving core, so it's not like they need a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a solid pickup for that offensive line for Miami, which is one of the few holes that they need to fill. I seen some video that said that the Dolphins have a lot of holes to fill. In my opinion, they don't. That roster is kind of solid. There's not many
Yeah,
open areas aside from, I guess, the safety position.
I think the big thing with Miami, and I think their first 3 or 4 picks, I think will be addressing these particular areas, unless they continue to trade around like they seem to do a lot, or they just go by best prospect available. Um, I think that your big areas you're going to see them try to address is offensive line. I think adding another weapon for Tua, and I think maybe edge rusher. I think they could maybe stand to add another defensive player off the edge. But since in this mock I have Kyle Pitts sliding past the Falcons and the good old Bungles, I've got the Dolphins picking him up just because I think that they'll see that he's there and just be like, we can't not take him, you know? So
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right about that. If Kyle Pitts is available for Miami, I think they do go Kyle Pitts because you can't pass that guy up.
mhm.
Detroit's pick, I have them going Jalen Waddle. No real reasoning behind it except for they need a wide receiver. They literally could go any way they want. They could take Jalen Waddle. They can go Rashawn Slater if they want a quarterback behind Matt or if they want a quarterback behind Jared Goff. Go Justin Fields. I mean, they literally can go in if they want a cornerback, go corner. They literally could go anywhere they want.
Yeah, they're another team like I think the Jets and the Jags that they've got a lot of excuse me, a lot of holes to fill up, and they can kind of go with whatever route they want. But I also have them taking Jalen Waddle here. I think they're going to be looking to get their next Kenny Galladay. So I think Waddle seems like the guy with the next most upside outside of Chase and Pitts. So take Waddle.
There was something I read on Twitter that said Waddle's starting to move up draft boards above Devontae Smith, and I'm like, I've always had him ranked above Devontae Smith. I don't know why
Yeah,
people are now starting to figure that out, but
I think it was a matter of honestly we like for a lot of casual people that haven't been looking at the tape, which to be honest, to a certain degree, I think we've had that issue this year because we've just not had the time to watch the tape, and it's been such a weird season anyway. But uh, you know, Waddle hasn't played since October, and Smith was going crazy down the stretch. So I think a lot of people had Smith up high. I had Smith up high as potentially the number one or two receiver, and then it's kind of like, oh yeah, Jamar Chase is really good. And when you watch Waddle when he's on the field, he's just insane, insane. So I think he's going to. I think he'll be a receiver too. I think in a lot of drafts, Jalen Waddle could be wide receiver one, but I think Jamar Chase is just too good.
yeah, I agree with you on that. With the Panthers, I have them taking Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern, offensive tackle. They could go quarterback and surprise everyone. I don't think they do. I think they well now with trading Teddy Bridgewater, you never know if they want to
Mm-hmm.
get someone in to bring in competition for Sam Darnold. But I think they trust him, and I think they're gonna bring in an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I think it's kind of got to be the same situation as Philly's having with Hurts. I think you need to show your confidence in your quarterback and give him, comfort in thinking that they believe in him to be QB1. I think if they were to bring someone else in, that's going to rattle him, and that's all that happened in New York, not because of quarterback stuff, but everything else going on with the Jets. So I've got them taking Penei Sewell here because Sewell's still on the board. He slides a little bit, and the Panthers will snatch him right up happily. And I think they will be fielding some calls, I think, because there's only one quarterback left on my board. And I think but I think that they want to protect their guy. And, I think Sewell is going to do a great job at that.
And this is where I have the first trade because we've seen Denver do it before. We've seen them trade out of the 10th pick a couple years ago for Pittsburgh and Devin Bush. We've seen Denver trade out of the top 10 to go back. I have them do it in again, trading their 9th overall pick with the New England Patriots. So Patriots will Patriots will go up to 9, and the Broncos will drop back to 15th. I have the Patriots trading up to get Justin Fields because if he's available, I definitely see a lot of teams trading up, but I see New England being able to pull it off.
Yeah, definitely. Since I had 4 quarterbacks go in the first 4 picks, I think with a lot of these picks here, I think that you're going to be starting to see a real scramble for calls with teams trying to trade up to get Mac Jones. But I think that there's a bit of a gap between with those earlier picks from like 5 to 8. I think you can kind of see the Lions or the Panthers make a move, but I think to a large extent, I don't think the value is going to quite be there to get a trade done until they get further on down and get closer to those teams. So I think the Patriots also make that trade. I have them trading up with Denver as well, 15th to the 9th spot, and I've got them taking Mac Jones, and all 5 quarterbacks are gone by the 9th pick.
Hmm. That's interesting. I
Because
me
I
personally,
think,
I don't think New England would trade up for Mac because I think he could slide to them. But
yeah,
I definitely think Patriots could trade up. I just don't think it'll be for Mac Jones.
understandable. I get that. Again, this is just a fun scenario, not necessarily the one I expect to see happen. I mean, at this point, I kind of expect Trey Lance and Mac Jones to kind of be on the board here. But the way I'm kind of seeing it is if this hypothetical situation occurs where the Falcons take Lance and then suddenly there's only one round one caliber quarterback left, um, then suddenly everyone is going to need to be trying to stay on top of it and see if they can try to make that happen. And, I think it's kind of one of those deals of it's going to be sort of a bidding war as it gets closer to the later part of the round. But I think that's about where the slide falls or a deal gets done there.
All right. With the Cowboys, I think we both have Patrick Surtain. Right.
Yes.
All right. So we don't need to talk about that because I think he's 99% going to go there. I've mocked him to Dallas in every single draft. With the Giants, I have them going Devontae Smith for one of two reasons: for fucking over the Eagles and for filling their need of wide receiver. I think from what happened last year at the end of the season, with if the Eagles would have won, the Giants would have been in, and the Eagles kind of just handed the division to the football team. I think the Giants go, okay, you want your receiver? No, you're not going to get him, and take Devontae Smith.
Yeah. So, funny thing, I just went back to look at my spreadsheet. To everyone who is listening, I made a mistake. I was going in and editing it a little bit right before we did this, and I didn't realize I forgot to make an adjustment where the Giants were picking Jalen Waddle, and I have him already gone with the Lions. So, kind of making some adjustments here on the fly. But
The
in this
Giants pick wide receiver Jalen Waddle, Detroit Lions.
yeah, so in this situation where he's gone, I have them taking Devontae Smith basically for the same reason. I honestly could really see the Cowboys, Giants taking a defensive player. I could see them going corner to a certain degree, but I could also see them doing a good old fashioned Dave Gettleman pick and getting uh, one of the big boys up front. But I think they've got options for what they want to do.
Okay. And then with the Eagles pick from Miami via San Francisco, I have the Eagles picking J.C. Horn, cornerback out of South Carolina.
I also have them taking J.C. Horn. Honestly, I was going to make a comment to Gavin saying, in the circumstance that Devontae Smith is still there, and what's his face, Howie Roseman has a chance to pick either Devontae Smith or J.C. Horn or another player or something. Knowing him, he'll probably get cute and make a little bit of the wrong choice. But here it can't even be made for him. So just take the best corner available in most people's minds.
And the Chargers, I have them going Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech, offensive tackle. I think they go offensive lineman to help protect Herbert. They sign a couple guys in free agency. That Chargers team isn't. It doesn't have a lot of holes to fill, but I think offensive lineman is definitely one of them.
Yeah, definitely. In this mock, because of the chaos that's happened near the top, Rashawn Slater has been allowed to fall a little bit, so I have them selecting him for the same reason. They get a little bit better value for an offensive tackle in that position, but it's still the same call regardless.
Then with the Vikings, I have Elijah Vera Tucker. I think I've mocked him to the Vikings every single draft but one. They need an interior offensive lineman, and he's a perfect fit.
I've got them taking Christian Darrisaw here just because I think from what I've seen with a lot of people, they think Darrisaw is the next best lineman out of the draft outside of um, uh, Slater and Sewell. I think they can move some pieces around. I think that they have had some issues like with Ezra Cleveland and a couple other guys on the line. So I think kind of just get the best guy available and sort of let them have a competition in camp, and try to piece it together from there.
Okay. And I have the Broncos from the trade back to New England to still get their guy in linebacker Penn State, Micah Parsons.
Same situation here, actually. I had them making that trade back, and they still get the guy who I think a lot of people are expecting to slide a little bit. Really not sure how that's standing right now. I've seen a lot of mocks where Micah Parsons has gone to like Detroit. I've seen some where he falls to the mid-20s. So I don't really know where he goes, but I think around the 15 spot is right about what we'd expect. I think I've mocked him to New England once or twice in that pick, but I think that they'd get the guy that they were probably going to take around the 9th pick anyway.
Then I have my second trade of the draft. I have Bears trading up to Arizona to get quarterback out of Alabama, Mac Jones. So all first round quarterbacks are now off the board, with Mac Jones falling to the Bears at 16 for the trade.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I have the Cardinals, I think, trying to originally when I was before I needed to start editing, I was kind of thinking maybe the Cardinals might, if Devontae Smith or one of the other receivers is still there, I could kind of see them making that move because of value, first off. But also, I think that maybe you need to start thinking long term about, is Larry going to play this year? Is he going to be done after this year? I think they try to get their guy to move on with afterwards, and maybe him. But I think that maybe they try to go upside here again, and they take a corner that no one really knows where he's going to go, and that being Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, sorry about that. He really could fall out of the first round, or people have him ranked everywhere. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes.
It'll be interesting to see where he goes, but I am very curious to see how it goes with him. But in this one, I think this is about the highest spot I've had him get drafted here. But he is kind of going up the boards, I think, a little bit. So this might be about where he goes, but we'll see.
With the Raiders pick, I have them taking interior defensive lineman at Alabama, Christian Barmore.
Sorry, let me go back to this real quick. Yeah, so the Raiders are whack.
Raiders are whack.
Raiders are a whack team, let's be honest.
Yeah, honestly, every player we've mocked probably not going to go there. They'll probably do something, pull something out of their ass and draft fucking somebody that's not even supposed to be first round talent.
I was going to say, I was listening to a mock draft the other day, and I've been thinking to myself, I have no idea what the Raiders are going to do. They're going to do something weird. They're going to do something possibly kind of dumb. And I heard on a draft that was getting into some of the later rounds that there's a guy in the draft named Divine Diablo. You can't tell me that's not the most Raider name you've ever heard in your goddamn life.
Yeah.
I could just see them for some reason just going up being like, we are taking Divine Diablo with the 17th pick. So we're putting Divine Diablo on here for the fun draft because why not? Safety. I can't quite recall where he plays. Moving stuff. I think he's out of Virginia Tech. But yeah, there's a lot of Virginia Tech players in this draft also.
Yeah. There's quite
which kind of surprises me because I feel like they didn't have a super great year last year. But apparently they got some talent.
With the Dolphins pick, I have them going edge rusher out of Miami, Jalen Phillips.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat, but I think some other people are kind of buying into Quiddy Pay as maybe the best edge rusher out of this draft out of Michigan. So I've got them actually taking Pay as the first edge rusher off the board, and I think there's going to be a lot of them that come up after this.
I do too. I got quite a bit of edge rushers coming after that. With the
There's
foot.
none of the. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You were talking about edge rushers.
I was just going to say I don't think that there's any of the like elite top tier guys that we see like a Von Miller or a JJ Watt in this draft. But I think there's a lot of guys that could potentially be Pro Bowl caliber players that are just really solid here. So I think once one of those guys goes, there's just going to be a run of them.
Yeah. With football team, I'm taking linebacker Jamin Davis out of Kentucky. They need a linebacker. They get a linebacker.
I have the football team trying to protect their quarterback, whoever that is going to be. This is also a team that I could definitely see making a move to try to get a quarterback, potentially. Not really sure, but so I've got them taking Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. I think he's just a pretty solid tackle that's just fairly highly rated. So just plug him in and protect your guy. And yeah, one less thing to worry about.
And then with the end of the Cardinals trade with Denver, sorry, not Denver, with Chicago, I have them going cornerback Greg Newsome the second out of Northwestern. They need a corner. They get a corner. After losing Pat Pete, they got to fill that role.
I forgot that you had that trade. Yeah. Honestly, if the Bears are in this position where the quarterbacks are gone and they can't get a trade done to move up and try to get one, I don't think that they're going to be in a very good spot to really get something that's going to make an immediate impact. And I think since most of us are in agreement that I think Pace and what's the coach's name? Matt Nagy. They're probably about done after this year in Chicago. Could kind of see them maybe just trying to do something to unexpected to maybe get some upside somewhere that people aren't expecting. Kind of a Howie Roseman type pick that we often say in this podcast. So I've got them making a bit of a reach on Kadarius Toney to add another wideout to this to pair up next to Allen Robinson, not have him be as mad. And my dogs are barking. Sorry about that. I've heard from one guy, I think it was on a YouTube channel. I can't remember who it was, but he said something about he thinks Kadarius Toney could be one of the steals of the draft in terms of wide receivers. So I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking maybe the Bears get smitten on someone like that, so they try to pull something.
Sorry, I'm talking to somebody, Patriots fan, who said quarterback. We'll get a top quarterback. Anyways, I have the Colts going offensive tackle in the next pick to Alex Leatherwood, offensive tackle at Alabama. So they get someone to help beef up that line even more for Carson Wentz, who definitely needs it. Needs beefy line.
Yes, definitely. Colts, I think that it's going to be either edge rusher or offensive lineman. And I could see them going either way with it. And I don't think that they would have a wrong answer by doing either. So, but I've got them taking an edge rusher here. I've got them taking Jalen Phillips. I think that he's just kind of a best player available sort of deal as well as a position of need. I think Phillips, like we were saying a bit ago, I think he can definitely go earlier and be the first edge rusher out of the draft for this year's class. But, I think that would just be a really good value on top of being something that they need.
And I have my third trade coming in with this. I don't think this trade's going to happen, but it could. I have the Atlanta Falcons trading Julio Jones to the Tennessee Titans to get Tennessee's pick. And I have the Falcons taking Kwity Paye, edge rusher out of Michigan. Because,
yeah.
Makes sense for both sides. Tennessee needs a wide receiver. Julio would be a great fit. Atlanta's trying to ship him out.
Mm-hmm.
Why not send him to Tennessee?
I agree that it's definitely kind of an unlikely circumstance, but it's definitely one I could see happening. It kind of makes sense. A lot of people are especially over the last week or so, have kind of been saying Julio's probably out of there soon, and I could see that. I actually have a trade here happening as well, but it's not with the Falcons. I have the Titans moving up a little bit, or excuse me, this is the Titans pick. I'm sorry, the Packers moving up a bit. Trying to make a selection here, and I've got them taking Greg Newsome, corner out of Virginia Tech. I think that the corners I think that they're wanting a corner or a wide receiver, and I could kind of see them making a move up to get a certain guy, whoever that would be that they'd like. And I think a lot of people have been hyping up Greg Newsome to a certain degree. So, you know, I think that we're going to see some trades kind of like this that night. And I don't know, Green Bay making a move up and
a move to piss off Aaron Rodgers.
Not the pick to make Rodgers happy. You know, it kind of seems on brand. So, and then my dad's going to be pissed too because he thinks first round picks are overrated, but that's what got him Aaron Rodgers. So, what can I say?
I don't know. There's the argument. That argument can go both ways. Some first round picks are overrated, but there are a lot more Hall of Famers that go in the first round that go in any other round. There's a lot more undrafted free agents that are Hall of Famers, more Hall of Famers than third round picks. I believe it's either third or fourth. Actually. So it's might be overrated to be more of a third or fourth round pick than it is a first.
Yeah, I get that. It's just there's a reason these guys are touted to be among the best. Now, obviously, they're not all going to pan out, but
right.
We'll see what happens. I don't really
know. With the Jets, I have them taking cornerback out of Virginia Tech, Caleb Farley. I have him going in the first round to the Jets.
I mean, that could be some really good value for New York.
There's a big possibility.
If he's able to stay healthy, like that could be a slam dunk pick for the Jets, to be totally honest. I have a trade happening here as well. The pick that was originally the Seahawks and then became the Jets now goes to my Cincinnati Bengals. I had to do something in this circumstance where Jamar Chase is the pick in the first round. I don't feel comfortable letting more of the tackles slide, so I have them moving up from I believe it's the 37th or 38th pick. 37th it should be, to grab Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama. I think just dude's a beast. He's a very good tackle. He's not one of the top two, obviously, but he's really highly touted as probably being a solid Pro Bowl quarterback you could plug in for a long time. And Bengals need it. And I don't think that they can afford to let the opportunity pass by. There are second and third round tackles and guards that should be good, but I think that they need to nail these offensive line picks. If it's the first pick or not, they need to make these picks count.
Having since you trade back in,
I mocked this last year too, and I had them taking Patrick Queen. So it might be me trying to
speak into existence.
Speak it into existence, yeah. Just trying to make it happen, which honestly, I'm not too mad about it last year. I think they did pretty solid with the linebacker room, but that line needs
work. With the 24th pick for Pittsburgh, I have them taking Najee Harris. I honestly don't see them going any other way. I've been saying that for months, and I'm still gonna say it. His custom jersey is right there on the right there on the closet. I'm trying to make it look like I'm pointing at it, but if I do that, it looks like I'm pointing at Joe Hayden. It's on the closet.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think they go any other way other than Najee Harris.
Yeah, I think as we've gotten closer to the draft, I think more and more people. Can't think of the last time I saw a mock where they didn't take Najee Harris in the first round. So your boy had to mix it up a little bit, and he has a trade happening once again. This time, Pittsburgh trading back to the 32nd pick. I can see the Super Bowl champs mortgaging the future even more to try to get more playmakers for this 2021 season. And so they grab edge rusher Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia to add to that vaunted defense. What?
Pittsburgh not trading back.
Hey,
Zero chance.
I told you this is a fun mock. Okay,
yeah. It better be zero chance Pittsburgh trades back. If you're Pittsburgh and you trade back, you're retarded.
Honestly, though, I know a lot of times Super Bowl champs trade back with the last pick. I could see the Bucs, like for tomorrow, my take for tomorrow. I think that the Bucs are either going to sit pat if there's a guy they really like that's going to make an immediate impact at 32, or I think they're going to be aggressive and go up and get someone. This team is trying to win now hard. I think they have a really tight Super Bowl window to go back and run it back. So I think that they're going to try to grab someone that can make an immediate impact, even if it costs them more of their future.
I believe.
And here at Pittsburgh.
With Jacksonville up next, I have them taking Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma State. Beef up that line for Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I have a similar selection. Tevin Jenkins is already off my board, so I have them selecting Elijah Vera Tucker out of USC. I really don't know where he's going to go. I've seen him, I think, a lot. I think that's a little bit of a slide from where I normally see him. Maybe Tevin Jenkins at 19, he might kind of be more around this area, and Vera Tucker goes higher, but I'm not entirely sure. So I think that they're going to just take the best lineman available, and you got to protect your new franchise quarterback.
True. I have the Browns dipping back into the wide receiver and going Elijah Moore out of Mississippi. Aside from Odell, who may or may not be there next year, and Jarvis Landry, who do you got? Donovan Peoples-Jones?
That's true. Granted, they do have a really strong running back room that can catch out of the backfield, but you do need an extra X-factor receiver. So I do agree with that. Haven't really thought about it, but that is true. But I am sticking true with my mock drafts up to this point. I've got them selecting Christian Barmore, defensive lineman out of Alabama. There's not many holes with this Cleveland team. I think you just need an extra guy up front on defense, and I think you got one of the better rosters in the NFL. I mean, they already have one of the better rosters in the NFL, but I mean, I just think it's a really good pick, not Pitt.
I think it's a really good Kyle Pitt.
It's a really good Kyle Pitt. Kyle Pitt fell that far, all the way down to the 26th pick. I have no idea how.
I have the Ravens going up next to get Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher out of Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think they'll definitely be keeping an eye on him. And kind of like earlier with the Dolphins, I think that they've got about 3 areas they need to work on, and at all being edge rusher, wide receiver, and then maybe offensive line. But they've got, I think, Villanueva coming in, so we'll see about that. But I've got them taking edge rusher as well, but this one is Jason Owe out of Penn State. Ojulari's off the board since the Bucs made the trade up for their guy. So I think they'll take the next best dude value-wise for any position they need.
Okay. And then with the Saints, I have them taking Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa.
I also have them taking Zaven Collins. I think it's just kind of one of those deals of just best prospect available.
Yeah, mine's the same thing.
Mhm.
And then I have the Packers going with a wide receiver and actually helping Rodgers out. I have them going with wide receiver Rashawn Bateman out of Minnesota.
I have obviously Green Bay out here trying to piss Aaron Rodgers off again with the 22nd pick when they traded up. The Titans traded back a little bit and still got a guy that I think is going to make them feel good, and that is Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. Both of those teams need a wideout, and both those teams need corners. But you know, I think if you can get, you're not going to get one of those top three in Tennessee, but I think that if you can just get someone decent to pair up alongside AJ Brown, you'll be fine.
And with the Bills, I have the second running back coming off the board, Travis Etienne out of Clemson. Going to the Bills. Ooh, burp.
I could see that. The Bills, honestly, they don't have much they need. I think they can kind of take whatever they want. And then, admittedly, if I had more time to think about this pick, I might switch it up. But since I had to go up on damage control and kind of make some changes because of the Jalen Waddle issue earlier, I've got them taking a corner, Asante Samuel. I believe I had them taking Greg Newsome earlier. Yeah, I think so. But he's no longer on the board, obviously. So just kind of the next best wide or corner out of that group. Not many needs for that Bills team, but they could use a corner.
Yeah. I have the Ravens staying put with their trade from KC and taking safety at a TCU, Trevon Mohrig.
I really want to know where Mohrig goes in this draft. Most of the time I have him. Excuse me. I think I've mocked him to Jacksonville about every time, but this time I don't have him in the first round. I've got them taking a wide receiver. They need one. They need one badly. So I've got them getting Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. He fell to them a little bit, so I think that they just try to get anyone, for Lamar Jackson to throw to.
Yeah. And then with the final pick in the first round, I have Buccaneers taking edge rusher out of Washington, Joe Tyron.
Yeah, I can see that. Obviously, I had them taking an edge rusher earlier. But this is the pick that the Steelers traded back with the Buccaneers to, get their guy here. They still have him on the board. So despite trading back, I still have them selecting Najee Harris. And he will be a Pittsburgh Steeler at the end of the night. Rather than he's going to be a Steeler come 11:30, not 10 o'clock. Okay? Is that okay with you?
No, I would like him to become a Steeler quicker.
You'll get more picks.
I guess that works out. All right, that wraps up our last mock draft of the year.
Yep. It's draft season's flown by, man.
It really has. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
With that being said, this will be our final podcast.
Oh.
We're being sued. I'm just kidding. With that being said, the mock draft live stream tomorrow.
The real draft, not the
real
mock
draft. Sorry, not mock. Real draft live stream tomorrow. Starts at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you're watching us on the East Coast, whatever your time zone is, wherever else you're watching us. 7:45. You can watch us on twitch.tv/More Sports Please Podcast. I know in the future or past I said this is Herbert. I changed the name. It's twitch.tv/More Sports Please Podcast. Then, if I can get it to work, you can watch us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/More Sports Please Podcast. Don't enter that into your YouTube thing. Don't enter that in the web browser search because you're not going to find it. I tried it. Go to youtube.com. Type in the search bar on YouTube. More Sports Please Podcast. We will be live. And
if they're watching this, they'll know where to watch it.
True.
So
good point. If they're watching on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that's why I'm saying it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If we can't get it to work on YouTube, I will let you guys know. Probably not. There's no way for me to let you guys know. If you guys don't see us live on YouTube, definitely go to Twitch. Twitch.tv/More Sports Please podcast. Don't
Get
forget
all of
it.
our reactions. Get all of our. I might be having an additional Bungles fan hanging out in my apartment room for the pick, and we'll see how we feel about Chase or Sewell, and we'll see Herbert get mad when Najee Harris inevitably
Not gonna happen.
Steeler.
He's gonna be a Steeler. So if you guys want to join in on and watch the fun, go to twitch.tv/More Sports Please podcast. If you want to be in the Discord and join us with a video cam, just hit me up on Twitter, I_is_Herbert, or Instagram, the same @. I can send you the Discord link. You can pop in for a while, say hi. You can leave whenever you want. Gavin will be there. He had some scare about an essay showing up late. He will be there the whole time. I will be there the whole time. Off and Backer will be there the whole time. We'll have a couple other guests, a couple other friends joining us. They'll be live with us probably the whole time. They might leave a little early, but I'm going to say this for the 7th time. Twitch.tv/More Sports Please podcast.
Yup. Also, apologies in advance if I am a little under the weather tomorrow. I'm getting my second COVID vaccine dose, and it hit Gavin hard. So I'm worried it's going to do the same thing to me, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I'll be there either way.
Second COVID shot supposed to hit a lot harder than the first, and my first shot hit hard, so I'm really scared about the second one.
Yeah, you better get vaccinated, though. Got to do it.
I'll be vaccinated. All right. So, on that note, we will see you guys tomorrow. 7:45 Eastern Standard Time is when we'll start the live stream. Draft starts at 8. We'll be live all the way up until pick 32. After pick 32, all the way after pick 32. And then we'll do draft discussion. You can only find this podcast episode on YouTube and Twitch. This will not be uploaded to Spotify. It'll take too long, and I don't want to do that.
Understandable. Get your jerseys. Get your B-dubs. It's draft night, baby.
It's draft night. Thursday. Draft night. Get your B-dubs. Get every single bit of it. Get everything you're going to need. Reminds me. Yeah. How am I? Yeah, I'll be able to make it to B-dubs and back. Okay. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Woo!
Peace.